the form of transit that everybody really goes for, which is their own private car. Accidents, the wasteful use of oils and gas and stuff like that. The design of roads where they don't really, roads are wide open so that people can drive where they want and that sort of thing. And you look at the newspapers, and every day there's some accident that they report,
Another cost that's not addressed when we talk about transportation issues, all the accidents and injuries.
And also the real waste of the resource and that is gasoline and other things, and the fact that this is that they're exploiting and they don't want to hear, the oil companies don't really want to hear anything about climate change or anything like that.
So our rail lines, if we realign the railroad, the old lines could be used for public transit, a rail tram. And if it's light rail, then you can easily adapt it to go up and over roads. Very inexpensive to build a light rail up and over roads.
And it's interesting that actually that idea was thought up over 100 years ago in New York. On the elevated lines, not even the subway lines. I mean, the subway lines is one way of getting entirely out of the way of other transport. But the 3rd Avenue L had 4 tracks, 2 tracks.
Express?
Express and locals. And the express went past the local stations until they came to another express station, and there the track went up, so they slowed down
by gravity.
Stopped, and at a point where they were going to begin going downgrade, and so when the people got off the train or on, they came on, and the motorman just boosted it a little bit so that it started to roll, and it was the most efficient use of power.
Like a hybrid car, where you save up the energy going up to stop and accelerate by dropping down naturally.
Right. So.
So the realignment of the railroad, if they went south of town, the existing line that goes on the north side of town could be the rail tram. I can definitely see we need one to North Pole or even Eielson.
Of course, the Army and the Air Force don't want civilians coming around, but that's fine. They can stop right at the border, and everybody in uniform can get out and go walk across to the next rail car or bus if they're going to run buses or anything like that.
Well, I could see a rail line going through Fort Wainwright, but not stopping there, to access Badge Road and North Pole through there to Fairbanks. And they wouldn't have to stop on post So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and actually for Alaska, for Fairbanks specifically, um, there is one light rail line that we can use between the town and the university. But one of the real things that would attract tourists, you know, rail buffs and stuff like that, would be to use a rail car like the Shenandoah Valley Railroad used.
The historical battery rail tram that they used
Yeah.
during the gold era.
And of course, there's a national law about you know, not having say, you know, three rail line, narrow gauge and broad gauge. They're close enough to each other that they ever contact or have any. But that in itself can be used to. There's a company that makes rail cars that
Okay, I'm gonna check the
that are, you know, they make old-fashioned rail equipment specifically for towns that want a sort of historic connection. They look at it, and also they're fairly cheap. So we could have a couple of three.
Bye.
Bye.
That could use the rail run, but stay away from the you know, like you say, not standard gauge, and therefore far enough away that it be meet the federal standard on the gauge, and still run back and forth
From the university to downtown. Very quick run. And it's still there, even with all the roads that they've built circling around town. They still have the shortest route is still railroad, university to downtown.
In fact, I remember the old station. It had been moved by the time we got here, so it's more than 50 years ago. But it was on a side street down by the slough, and so somebody had bought it, and they moved it to their property. But
we should try to locate the old equipment if it's still around, and where it might be.
Well, I know some of it was down in Anchorage. I saw it, you know, year after year, and then it disappeared. But in fact, one of the broad gauge, standard gauge rail cars was down there because the narrow gauge line was scrapped in 1932, I think, 32 or 31, and